Extremely enjoyable about watching a Twitch streamer get busted for cheating in a competition live. It's just straight dopamine right to the soul. And today, Christmas came early. We had 2 instances of cheating in tournaments back to back within 24 hours. I'll show you those clips in a moment, but I'd like to show you a classic, one that I always revisit at least once a year. This is the Clara incident. Now before showing the clips, I'll go ahead and give you just a little bit of background because I know me saying the Clara incident just sounds like some kind of SCP thing, like some kind of fucking paranormal report. For those that haven't been on Twitch for a long time, they might not remember this, but there was a moderately popular Twitch streamer in the Counter-Strike category who was outed for cheating when she left her cheats on during a stream. And what happened next is legendary. This is actually a historic piece of Twitch lore.
Stop shooting me! You motherfucker! Ah, what? They're mid. Mid. And all mid.
I'm going back to B. I'm going back to B.
So if your eyes were open, you may have noticed that she enabled some wall hacks, so she was able to see the enemies and their health through the walls, information you don't typically have access to in Counter-Strike. Even if you've never played the game before, you might find it a bit fishy that she can see the outline of them like she's goddamn Superman here with the X-ray vision. Now I'm gonna sound like your grandpa for a second, but when people used to cheat in games, it would be very obvious because you would see this. You would see all of this shit. Where, you know, like in Halo, back in the day, if you were cheating in Halo, if you ever showed your screen, it'd be immediately obvious that you were cheating. But there are streamers who get away with cheating, aimbots, walling, and all of that while streaming, so I don't exactly know how it usually goes, but this is just one of those rare instances where the person cheating was so blatantly obvious and just threw caution to the wind. Just let it all fucking hang out there and just had the fucking wall hacks on full display by accident.
Hello, welcome to the Dumpling Empire. Oh shit, I just saw one. Construction, watch out, purple. Oh shit, I'm scared. Ah, fuck! Why did I reload? What the fuck? Oh my god, I'm stupid, dude! Jumpman, thank you very much, though. Welcome to the Dumpling Empire. My name is Miss Q Gemini. Welcome. We're trying to not be a noob.
Oh my god!
This is such a common phenomenon that blows my mind. Why would you cheat in a game that you are absolutely horrible at? Most of the people that cheat in Warzone, Apex, Counter-Strike in this example, all gargle the stinkiest butthole. Why choose that game to be the one that you cheat at? Let's look at physical sports. I know sports ball cringe, whatever, but let's just take a look at that. The people that are cheating in like baseball, basketball, all of that, are your top level athletes that are taking performance enhancers sometimes in order to squeak out a little bit of edge over the competition, but they on their own right are already high caliber professional level players that are cheating. But in gaming, it's people that literally like type with one finger on each key and have a hard time moving their mouse while also holding W. Why bother cheating at a game that you're trash at? What's the point? I would expect most of the cheaters in games to also be some of the best players, and yeah, in a couple instances that has been the case, but the vast majority of the time, the aimbotters in like Apex are actual lobotomy patients that just use their mom's credit card to download some cheats to get a couple of wins before being banned. I don't understand the point at all. It's such a minor inconvenience to players that are good at the game because they can just re-queue right away, and it's just a waste of money, and it doesn't make any sense because it's not getting you anywhere either if you're already shit at the game to start. It blows my mind. Like, I don't understand why Miss Q Gemini here would cheat in Counter-Strike when she's bad at the game already. There's just nothing to be gained from it.
Yo, you guys, do you guys ever get that, that weird glitch in CSGO where it shows your rank, that it shows everyone's rank? Because my game, I played the other day, with Rock, and he got that, and now I have it. I don't know why. It's weird.
Nothing banana.
Wait, what the fuck? Clara! Hold on, Clara, give me 1 second. Clara. Let me just message this girl. Give me 1 second. Why the fuck is this on my computer right now?
Damn you, Clara! The boogeyman of Counter-Strike cheating strikes again, framing an innocent streamer for a crime she didn't commit. This is iconic. So her first attempt was in vain. She first tried to frame it as a weird glitch. Like, hey, you guys ever have that glitch where you just get wall hacks for some reason? It's super weird. Then she kind of changes that a little bit to make it sound like a virus. Yeah, I was playing with a guy who had this happen to him, and now I guess I have it happen to me. It's weird. She made it was like a fucking plague or something sweeping through Counter-Strike. She was making it sound like COVID had just hit and gave everyone wall hacks across the entire game. And then eventually she realized that's probably not going to get her anywhere. So she yells like, what is this? Just got jump scared by Goatsy or something. She's like, oh my god, turns out there's hacks on my computer. Clara? You harpy? You old battle axe? You put hacks on my computer, didn't you? Oh my god, Clara, I can't believe you would do this. Clara!
I need to text my friend Clara right now. She was at my house earlier today. What the actual fuck? Yo, Rock, do you remember when fucking Clara got the fucking back ban? I'm gonna kill this girl. I'm literally gonna kill her. She promised me she didn't use it on my PC. I'm fucking done. She was here today and I was watching her. Why the fuck, Clara, out of all people, this is what happens when you let people use your PC. Okay. I'm actually just gonna uninstall this game because fuck that shit. I'm not getting a back ban because of this girl. That's actually retarded.
She ended up getting more than just a VAC ban. She was banned on Twitch forever. She tried to make an alt account, and that also got banned because one of the rules on Twitch is you can't broadcast yourself cheating. Like, that's just, it doesn't fly, usually. So, that was the conclusion, and what a beautiful speech at the end. And Clara's name still lives in infamy to this day. Whenever someone's busted in a tournament cheating, you'll typically see the chat start spamming Clara, or Clara strikes again, shit like that. It really was just such a remarkable disaster. But now let's go ahead and move on to the most recent events of cheating caught in 4K on Twitch. First one happened in a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament, and this one really hurt me. This one broke my heart, because I'm a big Master Duel fan, and it was really upsetting. I wanted to puke, seeing a man disrespect the sanctity of the Yu-Gi-Oh card game. I'll go ahead and show you all three clips. It is the player on the left in the clips, so keep your eyes peeled and see if you can catch it in real time. It's not exactly smooth or anything, it's pretty brazen. It would have been less obvious if he just picked up the card that he was swapping into his hand and slapped his opponent in the face with it. Like, he wasn't exactly being secretive about his cheating. And as a result, he's been banned from future events. Let's go ahead and take a peek. Did you catch it? Let me slow it down for you. I'll be the little fucking forensics investigator at the CSI laboratory. Really pay close attention to the bottom card on the player on the left's deck. So he poops out a little playful effect veiler from his deck into his hand. That bottom card that he popped into his hand was called Effect Veiler. It's extremely strong, and if played correctly can just outright win you a game sometimes. And when he drops it from his deck to his hand, he picks up a card he didn't need from his hand and puts it in his deck, so that way he has the correct number of cards in his hand. He was able to do this because I don't know what effect was resolving, but he was searching in his deck for, I think it was Darkness Metal Dragon, and while searching for that card, he saw the Effect Veiler, moved it to the bottom, dropped it into his hand, which is cheating, obviously. And it's not the only time he tried cheating in this match. Let me show you a couple of his fake shuffles here. In that clip, he moved a card that was unplayable for his opponent from the bottom of his deck to the top of the deck and then only shuffled underneath that top card without ever touching it. Which, of course, is cheating again because he knew what card was on top of his opponent's deck and he knew it was a card that wouldn't be used against him. This is another fake shuffle, but this time he's shuffling his own deck, and you'll see that he saw his bottom card was strong and useful in his situation, so he took it from the bottom, put it on top of his deck, and then shuffled everything underneath it. So yeah, 3 separate instances of this douchebag cheating on live stream. You have to be extremely stupid to cheat on a live Twitch stream. On Twitch of all places where people are hyper analytical of everything. People will spend hours reviewing every single frame of a stream if they so much as smelt something fishy. If their stream buffers, they'll go back to the VOD and sit there for hours just checking to make sure something fishy didn't happen during the buffering section. It was so unbelievably bold to try this on stream. And he wasn't good at it either. I've watched a lot of like Magic the Gathering cheaters and sometimes Yu-Gi-Oh cheaters, and they're usually smooth. Like if you're not paying attention, you won't even know something wrong happened. This was not the case here. Anyone could see what this guy was doing because he was so slow with everything. Like when he took that card from the bottom of his deck and put it on top, he sat there looking at it for a second and then slowly with 2 fingers picked it up and put it up there as if he was going through molasses in slow motion. So he was a terrible cheater to begin with too. So of course he was going to be caught. It is fucking baffling that he'd even try like this. But yeah, anyway, from what I understand, he's been banned from every tournament ever now. I don't know much about this player. I don't know if he was a top player, but he completely ruined any chance he had of making any career out of the TCG for Yu-Gi-Oh! Also, this made me think of something. Now, I play Master Duel, which is the online Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't play the TCG, but I have to wonder how common cheating actually is, because it's moving really fast, and you have a lot of things on your mind, a lot of moving parts to Yu-Gi-Oh! In particular. I wonder how often someone is sneaking cards to the top of the deck or bottom of the deck or whatever the case, and then the people just never find out about it. The only reason this guy was busted is because Twitch chat caught him and made the tournament officials aware of it, but the actual player he was against, his opponent, never knew he was cheating. So most of the games aren't broadcast. They're not streamed. So I really do wonder how many are cheating. Just a little food for thought, I suppose. Put the fear of God in you.
I can kill that person. No, he's by the multi-windows. No, outer on me. I'm fucked. They're both there.
I've seen a lot of cheaters get busted on Twitch, but this guy is by far the stupidest among all of them. Now this, to be fair, wasn't on stream. He was accused of cheating, as I understand it, and in order to prove his innocence, he set up a camera to record him and his screen during a 2v2 tournament in Call of Duty to prove that he wasn't cheating. And then during this recording to prove that he's innocent, he was cheating. The quality's dog shit, which I think was on purpose. I think he was trying to make the quality as low as possible, as much pixelation, like negative 140p, to make it really hard to see that he was cheating. But it's terrible quality, and you can still see the yellow outline of people through walls. He's using wall hacks in a 2v2 tournament while recording it himself to prove that he isn't a cheater. And as a result of this, he got his entire team disqualified from the remainder of the season. So he not only got permanently fucked, he also took his whole team down with him. It is so unbelievably stupid, I can't even begin to wrap my head around it. Like, he couldn't just for one game turn off the cheats. The one game that he himself was recording, he left them on. That is the level of intelligence most cheaters are operating at. And they're all so bad at the game. You'll see in the clip, he gets like one kill with the walls and then immediately dies. He is wall hacking and still losing. And they also lost the whole tournament, by the way, with him cheating. Crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, I just wanted to show these because I always find it so interesting when cheaters get busted on streams and shit like that. So yeah, the internet was set ablaze by an explosive scandal that gripped us all by the throat and wouldn't let go. A cheating scandal that changed butt plugs forever. I'm talking, of course, about Hans Niemann vs. Magnus Carlsen chess cheating allegations. I'll go ahead and bring you up to speed with a brief lore recap in case you forgot. Hans Niemann is a very strong chess player, and he played against one of the best of all time, Magnus Carlsen, in a tournament. And Hans Niemann shocked the chess world when he beat Magnus. But no one was more shocked than Magnus, and he made some insinuations that there may have been foul play afoot during their match. He outright refused to play against Hans going forward, and it got real messy real quick. We started playing in the pig pen and things were getting dirty. This led to a huge avalanche effect where everyone was coming out to speculate on what the fuck was going on. And not just smooth-brained goober idiots like myself, but some of the most well-respected players in the entire world, grandmasters, came forward to offer their perspective on this. And Hans Niemann did have a past of cheating in online chess, but never in person. And cheating in an in-person over-the-board chess event is a very hard thing to prove. Eventually, the community started to come up with their own theories on how could he have cheated if he did. And naturally, the only sane explanation that makes sense, the only logical conclusion to draw, is that Hans Niemann must have cheated by having a vibrating butt plug lodged deep inside of his asshole that would vibrate for the correct moves to play against Magnus in this match. Thus spawned the butt plug cheating scandal that took the world by storm. It's important to note that that whole theory was only half serious. Like, I don't know how many people are diehard butt plug believers in this case, but it is like a possibility. The tech was even proven by some of the brightest minds in America. We damn near revived Oppenheimer to build a functioning chess bot butt plug. We had a lot of people on YouTube in particular come forward and make working prototype chess bot butt plugs that you could plug into your colon to help you be better at chess, just to prove that, you know, we as a species can make this. We have the technology. But the whole belief that this was a real thing wasn't the most grounded in reality. Like, it wasn't super serious, but it was fun. And that's why everyone latched onto it. But it really wasn't fun for Hans Niemann, whom his entire career was starting to crumble around him because of this reputation that he may have cheated. There's a lot of moving parts under the hood of this vehicle, and I'm not a fucking mechanic, so a lot of things that started happening behind the scenes I am unaware of. Most people are. There's only a handful of people that really know all of the particulars that started to go on behind the scenes, but what we do know is Chess.com launched an investigation of their own against Niemann to investigate the cheating allegations. They wanted to see if there was any evidence that Hans Niemann may have cheated against Magnus. Fast forward, investigation concludes, Chess.com finds no hard proof that Hans Niemann ever cheated in over-the-board chess, but they do find more evidence that Hans Niemann may have cheated in more online chess than he had initially led people to believe. Eventually, another person gets involved. His name is Hikaru. He's the biggest chess streamer and one of the best players in the world. Hikaru gets involved in this directly by making some hard claims during this whole situation, which only further damages Hans. So eventually, Hans Niemann launches a lawsuit against everyone. Chess.com, Magnus Carlsen, and Hikaru. It's a $100 million defamation lawsuit. And that brings us to today. That lawsuit has concluded. It has all been settled now, and sports fans, let me be the first to tell you, it's a bit of a surprising ending to this one, all things considered. Chess.com put out a statement saying that all the sides here have been working together to negotiate in good faith to resolve everything without further litigation, and they're happy to share that they've finally made it there. They're finally all coming together, holding hands and saying, you know what, group hug in the shower, no need for any more hostility. Which is not the ending I was expecting to the Game of Thrones here. So, Chess.com released a statement saying, we're pleased to report that we've reached an agreement with Hans Niemann to put our differences behind us and move forward together without further litigation. At this time, Hans has been fully reinstated by Chess.com, and we look forward to his participation in our events. We'd also like to reaffirm that we stand by the findings in our October 2022 public report regarding Hans, including that we found no determinative evidence that he has cheated in any in-person games. We all love chess and appreciate all of the passionate fans and community members who allowed us to do what we do. I really thought this was going to be a much longer case that wouldn't have a happy ending here. I was expecting this to get extremely cutthroat. I thought we were going to be seeing some kind of biblical court smackdown where Hans Niemann comes in with some crazy evidence that everyone but him is a cheater. He like fucking scholars mates the entire chess community. Like, I was really expecting this to not have a happy resolution, but I'm pleasantly surprised to see that it does. I gotta be honest with all of you here, though, sports fans. Just like the man in the yellow hat, my George is getting a bit curious as to what this agreement they reached could have possibly looked like. It had to be financial. Like, if you checked Hans Niemann's ass right now, you wouldn't find a butt plug, you'd find a lot of money. Like, this had to be some kind of financial agreement they reached because Hans Niemann's career took a huge hit from all of this. In the chess world, The biggest, most prestigious tournaments with the best players in the world are invitation only. And take a guess who wasn't getting invited to these events. That's right, the bad boy of the bong cloud, Hans Niemann. So his career kind of did nosedive from all of this because he was labeled a potential cheater. So he hasn't been able to play against the best in the world anymore. So I feel like the only way that he would have had an agreement that was satisfactory is if somehow they paid him a lot of money to be okay with it, to not drag this out any longer. That's just my guess. But that could be as ludicrous as the butt plug theory in the first place. I don't know. Maybe Hans Niemann just wanted like a very sincere apology from everyone involved and he got it. That's very possible. I have no idea. But it is important to note his career really did reach a complete standstill from all of this. Now, one thing everyone has said, and I agree with, is that this never would have reached this point or even probably happened in the first place if Hans Niemann didn't have a history of cheating in online chess when he was younger. That is a very crucial component to why this spiraled out of control the way it did. And obviously it's a huge factor in why people were taking sides so strongly. Once a cheater, always a cheater. No, but wait, there's no proof of him ever cheating in over-the-board chess. We can't just go off of his past when he was a younger kid. Like, come on. So it led to a lot of messiness in the entire community. This whole thing was very unfortunate for literally everybody involved. But I do want to go ahead and look at both Magnus Carlsen's statement and Hans Niemann's statement. Magnus Carlsen said, "I acknowledge and understand Chess.com's report, including its statement that there is no determinative evidence that Niemann cheated in his game against me at the Sinquefield Cup. I am willing to play Niemann in future events should we be paired together." Hans Niemann said, "I am pleased that my lawsuit against Magnus Carlsen and Chess.com has been resolved in a mutually acceptable manner and that I am returning to Chess.com. I look forward to competing against Magnus in chess rather than in court and am grateful to my attorneys at Ovid and Ovid for believing in me and helping me resolve this case." So it seems like everything going forward will be business as usual. Magnus Carlsen will no longer just throw if he plays against Hans, and the two will go back to playing very high-level chess. It remains to be seen if Hans Niemann will now start to get invited to more of the bigger chess events that he's been missing out on. Chess.com seems to say that he's welcome to be at their events now, so he can start participating again at the highest level. So we're just going to have to wait and see how all of that unfolds. Hans Niemann did, however, release another video of his own here, where he gets like right up in the camera like the goddamn Joker in The Dark Knight here, saying, "Hey, I'm fucking back, baby."
Hello, chess worlds. Did you miss me? There will be a day when I will be the best chess player in the world, and I think it's time to let my chess speak for itself.
It's like a fucking WWE intro out here. So he does also say in that video that he still believes the Chess.com reports are defamatory and denies some of the allegations from it, but overall is still pleased that the whole situation is behind them now, so that way he can continue to move forward and play at the highest level. So that's where this whole cheating scandal finishes, I guess. 11 months in the making, and overall a pretty happy ending for most people involved in this case, it seems. So yeah, just wanted to give you the definitive update on it with the finale. To want to sit down, you're going to want to take a seat for this news. It's hard-hitting, like getting a call that Meemaw slipped and fell, except this isn't sad news, this is truly just baffling news. Right now in the chess community, there is a cheating scandal that's been going on for a couple weeks now that is so nefarious and so dubious, it'll have you questioning everything in your life. You won't know what's real and what's fake anymore once I reveal this to you. You'll start wondering if your parents are even your real biological parents, you know? It's gonna change your universe, you know? You'll start wondering, is the queen even dead? It goes so deep beyond chess. Like, I don't care if you have no interest in chess whatsoever, I really think this cheating scandal is still going to be captivating to you. Now, if you watch my streams, twitch.tv/moistcritical, feel free to stop in, stream every day, put a few extra inches on your penis. I've been following this since it happened, since ground zero, patient zero. The day that this began, I was actively following it on stream and going over everything as it developed. And now we've reached the point where it's spiraled so far out of control that it's just inducing madness. I feel like that scene in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where he's got like the corkboard with all of the evidence and everything pointing to one name, Pepe Silvia. Like, it's become so convoluted and crazy. I just need to give you a quick spoiler to get you hooked on this story. The cheating allegations involve high-tech anal beads vibrating in a chess grandmaster's ass to transmit the best possible moves in order to win a match. That's the level of wildness we're dealing with here. I can't wait to share it, so let's get into it. I can't show any clips from the actual chess tournament where all this took place, or even subsequent clips of interviews, because as I understand it, they're very strict with that. So I'm just going to have to paint a picture with words and show you some corresponding tweets and articles and everything. So in a nutshell, what happened is the #1 chess player in the world, Magnus Carlsen, was competing in a tournament and was facing off against Hans Niemann, a very strong grandmaster, however not nearly to the level of Magnus Carlsen. This should have been an absolute steamroll. Everyone expected Magnus to just blue waffle Hans here, just kind of a throwaway, especially considering that Magnus Carlsen was playing the white pieces. For those that aren't familiar with chess, white pieces move first. And in the upper echelon of chess, that's a difference maker. It's a huge advantage. So you have the best player in the world with an advantage facing off against the lowest rated player in the tournament. You'd expect a fat W from Magnus here. But that's not the result that we got in this dimension. I'm sure in every other multiverse out there, Hans Niemann lost this match. But in this one, the one that we currently reside, Hans Niemann won. He beat Magnus Carlsen. So that alone was enough to raise eyebrows, but what set off the cheating allegations and all of this speculation was the subsequent interview. When Hans Niemann was interviewed about this absolutely colossal triumph, he gave a questionable interview that was a little weird, kind of all over the place. And you'd expect that because he's young. Hans Niemann is a 19-year-old kid. You know, he's not like a chiseled old veteran, you know, he doesn't have like a graying goatee, he's not like a fucking Master Roshi or anything, like, so you'd kind of expect him to be a little scatterbrained here, which is what I thought. You know, now granted, I'm not like a chess authority, I'm not a top player, I'm a fucking tiny pea-brained 1100 player, but even still, you know, it's a young man who just pulled off one of the biggest upsets in chess history. I wouldn't have expected him to give a fully buttoned-up interview and analysis, but during the interview, he said that he actually studied the line Magnus played against him beforehand, which was setting off all kinds of alarm bells. Now, keep in mind, this is a massive upset. The chess community was more willing to believe the Earth was flat than believe Magnus Carlsen lost with the white pieces. So they were already a little on edge with some question marks, and when Hans Niemann said that he had actually studied Magnus's line, everyone immediately flocked to the chess database to see when Magnus played this line prior, and it seems he'd only ever played it once. So a lot of people were questioning, why would Hans Niemann study this line when it's not something Magnus is known for, it's not something he's ever really played before? Why would Hans Niemann have just studied this right before the tournament? So then they start picking apart the interview and noticing that some of the things Hans was saying weren't fully correct. And keep in mind, these aren't just like normal spectators, I'm talking grandmasters, like the best of the best chess players were all opining on this situation and giving their perspective on it. And then Magnus Carlsen made this tweet which really set everything off. Magnus Carlsen announced that he was withdrawing from the tournament following his loss to Hans Niemann, and then posted that very famous YouTube clip of the coach saying, "If I say anything, I'm going to be in trouble, so I'm not going to say anything." And obviously this is an insinuation of foul play. That's how the chess community took it. That's how pretty much any sensible person would take it. Him tweeting this out with the "if I say anything, I'm in trouble" and withdrawing immediately had everyone believing that Magnus Carlsen was softly accusing Hans of cheating. Following this, the biggest chess streamer in the world, Hikaru Nakamura, explained on stream that Hans Niemann had actually been banned from chess.com before for cheating during some matches. Shortly after all the cheating accusations came to light, Hans Niemann was then banned from chess.com. So, now you're all caught up to speed on what exactly happened, but you're questioning, how could he have possibly cheated? And that's where this conspiracy goes fucking insano style. The leading theory across all of the major outlets is Hans Niemann was using anal beads that vibrated to instruct him what moves to make against Magnus Carlsen in the match. I'm not fucking kidding. This is the leading theory on how Hans Niemann cheated against Magnus Carlsen. So in order to fully digest this entree, I'm going to need to explain how cheating in chess can possibly work. A lot of them are galaxy brain schemes. Now, for those that aren't familiar with chess, there's engines. There's basically chess bots that will always know the best possible moves in any given situation, any position on the board. One of them is called Stockfish. So Stockfish has actually been modified in order to fit in someone's shoe. And this was tested by an independent player who put the Stockfish bot in his shoe. He calls it Sockfish. And it was able to transmit the best possible moves for his match. And it worked to a pretty decent degree of success, though of course needed further refining. But the technology does exist. It worked by sending pulsing to his foot that would basically work like Morse code. So it would pulse and tell him what position to move what piece and where. So pretty fucking cool. Now obviously that's illegal. You can't sneak a chess bot to play for you. It's cheating, but I think the point of this experiment was to show that it is possible. And he didn't do this in like a legitimate match. He revealed to his opponent, who found it humorous. But it is pretty impressive technology, so it's not far-fetched to think that anal beads couldn't accomplish the same thing as James Stanley's Sockfish. If you take the same idea, where you take Stockfish in the Raspberry Pi for the shoe and use it for your asshole, it could send vibrations or pulses through your rectum and work the same way as Sockfish. It would vibrate your colon in a way that would tell you the position to move on the board. So it can exist. Like, it's not super far-fetched. Like, we're not in the realm of sci-fi. It's not a fantasy. You could technically make some kind of butt plug that runs Stockfish and just have it vibrate Morse code for where you should move your pieces. It can, theoretically exist. Now, whether or not Hans Niemann had a butt plug or anal beads in that did this, it's up for anyone's guess. Only God knows, and only Hans Niemann's butthole knows. The thing with chess cheating is you can never be 100% sure either way. Because for a grandmaster to cheat, they'd only really need to hear one thing, a cough, that indicates there's a tactic on the board or anything, because they're all so good. If they just have even the slightest hint that there's something there, they will find it pretty quickly. So no one's 100% sure how prevalent cheating is. However, there's only been a few cases of cheating being caught at the top level. The most famous being about a decade ago during an Olympiad. There was a very high IQ plot to cheat where the teammate would send a coded text to another teammate, and then they would sit at a particular table which corresponded to a position on the board, and judging by where they were sitting, the player would then know what moves to make fundamentally. So by changing where they were sitting, they were transmitting information to the player, which obviously isn't allowed. Very galaxy brain shit, but this was caught and they did receive punishment for it. So yeah, it has happened before, but it's not something common. Now let's get back into this case specifically. Hans Niemann has been very outspoken. He's addressed all the rumors and every outlandish claim imaginable. He's been very open with everything. Now I want to give my personal perspective here, and I've talked about it on stream. I don't think Hans Niemann cheated. I really don't. The security was super tight at this event, and they were very thorough with their checks. In chess, they have checks to make sure that you're not smuggling in anything illegal or anything unsavory, unprofessional. Nothing that would give you an advantage. So during the beginning of this match, I can't show you the clip, but I'll show you a quick picture. They had a guy with a wand scanning Hans's entire body, top to bottom, even going as far as to investigate his gum, even checking his shoes, probably looking for sockfish, checking every nook and cranny of Hans Niemann's body without actually doing a cavity search. He didn't give him like the Naruto 1,000 years of pain up the asshole or anything, but he came pretty close. And he didn't find anything. So I just think it's highly unlikely Hans Niemann was able to pull a fast one on the chess organization here. I don't think he was able to smuggle in any secretive nanobot anal beads, because I feel like that would have been picked up by the wand this guy was scanning him with. So again, I think he went all natural here, fully biological, no augments. I don't think he cheated bringing a bot in or anything like that. Now, Hans Niemann has given yet another interview going more in depth on cheating allegations from his past. Hikaru brought up that he was banned by chess.com for cheating in some matches, and Hans Niemann does confirm that when he was younger, he did cheat in some online matches. He says they were unrated matches. It was back when he was younger, trying to grow his stream, and he had cheated back when he was like 12 years old as well in, again, online format, but has said he has never cheated in over-the-board chess. And this was very brave of him to be so open with his past of cheating online. because that's just one of those things that you don't really see a lot of people just tackle headstrong. That's something a lot of people bury. And I guess he was kind of forced to here since it was brought to light. But I still think being that transparent with it is pretty impressive, even if it is to the detriment of his career. I don't know how it's going to affect it going forward. Him being that open, I think, is pretty strong. And he is defending the legitimacy of his over-the-board career. In response to Hans Niemann's interview, Chess.com put out a statement saying that he will remain banned and that they had evidence that contradicts some of the statements he made, but Chess.com has yet to put forth that evidence for people to see. So as of right now, he's still banned and the evidence is hidden. And now I want to make it clear, not every Grandmaster is saying that Hans cheated. It's some of them that are standing strong that it's very suspicious how he beat Magnus. Some of them are claiming that all of his moves are a little too in line with moves that the chess bots make. But there are still a lot that support Hans, saying that, Magnus just didn't play that well that day. So it's really just full back and forth here. But since the anal bead theory broke, there was even an offer for Hans Niemann to play naked for $1 million to prove he didn't cheat. This anal bead theory is what's really taken hold from the cheating scandal here. And it all started as a meme. I don't think a lot of these publications did their due diligence here. The anal bead theory was just kind of a joke on the chess subreddit. There was very few people that legitimately believed it. They just started talking about it just because it was silly. But a lot of these publications have picked it up as if it's something believable. And yeah, theoretically, it could exist, but I still find it very unlikely that it does. But the point is, it started as just a joke that's now become something much bigger. And Hans Niemann said he'll fucking play naked to prove he hasn't cheated. Like, he's being a good sport about the anal bead stuff. He said he'll just play full bare-ass chess to prove that he is an innocent man when it comes to over-the-board chess games. Now, I'd like to just briefly give my opinion on Magnus Carlsen's tweet, because that's what really turbocharged all these cheating accusations here. He made that tweet and then went complete radio silence. He hasn't spoken out about this since, when he's the one that really, kicked the shit in the septic tank here and let it fester. I think it's a little, embarrassing to make that tweet and then have no follow-up. He just very slyly insinuates Hans may have been cheating. He withdraws from the tournament, which is no small thing, mind you. That's a big gesture. But refuses to actually come in here and give his stance on it when he's the one that kind of started most of it. I think that's a little sad. I would like if Magnus Carlsen would elaborate on why he made that tweet and what it's exactly in reference to. Is he accusing Hans of cheating? Does he think Hans cheated? Or did everyone misinterpret his tweet? I don't like the ambiguity of it. I would really appreciate, and I think most people would appreciate, if he elaborated a bit on his position, since he's the one that, he threw out the first move here going for like a scholar's mate potentially. So why not explain it a little more thoroughly? Tell us the line. But anyway, I just wanted to quickly get that out there because, I feel kind of strongly about that. But overall, I don't think he cheated, but we'll never fully know. No one will ever fully know because there's no way it will ever be proven. But what a wild story regardless. Infamous chess cheating scandal that rocked the entire planet due to the absurd nature of some of the claims, where one of the best chess players of all time, Magnus Carlsen, lost, and he insinuated that his opponent may have used less than honorable methods to achieve their victory. As a result, his opponent, Hans Niemann, was accused by many of being a potential cheater. And one of the theories that was cooked up, mostly in jest by a lot of people, but some very vehemently defended the idea that Hans Niemann may have cheated by having anal beads in his rectum. And just when you thought it was safe to go to a chess tournament with your sphincter unclenched, we see a very similar thing happen today. So that whole situation with Magnus Carlsen and Hans Niemann had a conclusion. That had a whole season finale, a whole ending arc. But the idea of anal beads to cheat still persists. And we've now just seen a new accusation against another Chinese chess player this time, that they may have cheated using a similar piece of technology, a similar nefarious method for cheating. So there is a claim that someone who just won the championship did so by having a device planted in their colon where they would rhythmically tighten their sphincter in order to send signals back about the positioning on the board and then receive information on the best move to play. So it's the exact same concept. History truly does repeat itself. And so the champion has been accused of cheating, but that hasn't been proven 100% beyond a shadow of a doubt. But what has been proven is that he has pooped in a bathtub. I've been unable to locate crime scene photographic evidence, so I don't know if this is a Caddyshack moment with like just one turd floating around, or if this was like destroying the bathtub beyond all salvation. I'm not sure. But because he shit in the bathtub, he has been stripped of his championship title due to his bad behavior. One moment of weakness, some Hershey squirting accident in the bathtub has now cost him the title of champion. I went over it on stream, so I'll show you clips from that, but I also wanted to go over a little bit from the Mr. Beast D's Nuts lawsuit that I touched on last night, because I didn't even know that was going on, and I found that to be pretty interesting too. The Chinese chess champion stripped of title after defecating in hotel bathtub, allegedly used anal beads to cheat. I saw the headline, I haven't looked at it, let's take a peek. So Chinese chess is different than normal chess, it's a completely different set of rules. This led to a lot of confusion on Twitter from what I saw. But I'm very curious how pooping in a bathtub would somehow give him the tools he needed to win this match. I feel like that'd be a detriment more than anything. The world of Chinese chess is in an uproar over rumors of cheating and a bad behavior scandal that saw the national champion stripped of his title on Monday after a victory celebration ended with him defecating in a hotel bathtub. I mean, if you're not shitting in a bathtub, are you even really celebrating? I don't even know why they'd be upset about that. Why would that be an issue? His joy was short-lived, with the CXA on Monday announcing that Yan would have his title revoked and prize money confiscated after he had been caught disrupting public order and displaying extremely bad character. The association was also forced to address rumors circulating online that Yan had cheated during the competition by using anal beads equipped with wireless transmitters to send and receive signals. How would that work, though? You can't have anal beads and be in a bathtub at the same time. Like, those two just wouldn't mix, right? I imagine the water would short-circuit it. Or maybe I'm just not familiar with where anal bead technology is. Maybe it's more sophisticated than I give it credit for. Yan allegedly clinched and unclinched rhythmically to communicate information about the chessboard via code to a computer, which then sent back instructions on what moves to make in the form of vibrations, according to reports circulating on Chinese social site Weibo. Based on our understanding of the situation, it's currently impossible to prove that Yan engaged in cheating via anal beads as speculated on social media. But he was stripped of his title and banned from playing for a year after his celebration went wayward. Yan consumed alcohol with others in his room on the night of the 17th and then defecated in the bathtub of the room he was staying in on the 18th. In an act that damaged hotel property, violated public order and good morals, had a negative impact on the competition and the event, and was extremely bad character. Okay, I misunderstood. I thought he was playing Chinese chess in the bathtub for the championship and then pooped himself. Okay, so these are totally separate instances. So he's being accused of cheating via the anal beads method, and then after winning via cheating, went and pooped in the bathtub. Got it. Okay. Used his prostate as a Morse code receptor. Well, not a receptor, a Morse code transmitter. It's basically like the Lorenz machine from the World War II era. He's sending code back. I'm curious, is there any more on this? I want to see the scene of the crime. Can I see how much poop was in the bathtub? Like, maybe it was just like a small log. Or maybe he'd like actually destroyed the bathroom. Yeah, it doesn't look like we have any proof of the defecating. I'll take their word for it, though. God, I just need you to see this. This isn't necessarily about the story, but this is the most ads I've ever seen on a website so far. Since I turned off ad blocks, that way I don't have to, like, go around and go through hoops to get to websites anymore, this is what I get. This is unusable. This is actually unfucking usable. It's 5 ads per 3 blocks of text. Per 3 blocks of text. Bare minimum. Bare minimum. And auto-playing videos out the wazoo. It's fucking miserable. I'm just trying to see a picture of the pooped-in bathtub. That's it. Did you see the latest on Wander Franco? He was on the run in the Dominican Republic and police found him today. Oh, they already found him? Damn, one of the video ideas we had was to track down Wander Franco, since he played for the Rays. We thought it'd be fun if we were the ones to catch him Like Dog the Bounty Hunter. Fuck, they beat us to it? Okay. YouTuber Mr. Beast. Oh, he lost. Loses D's Nuts lawsuit against Florida company. I thought this was an ongoing thing. Mr. Beast was ordered to stop selling candy with the name D's Nuts after losing a lawsuit to a Florida business owner. Damn, you can't fuck with Florida, I guess. Who got him? A Jacksonville man took Feastables and Donaldson to federal court after he noticed the name sounds similar to his gourmet peanut business, D's Nuts. Oh, interesting. Okay. So these nuts belong to D. So D's Nuts owner Brian Detour named the company after his grandma D and owns the copyright. In the lawsuit, Detour claimed Donaldson's near identical product name was dominating search engine traffic that would have otherwise gone to his company. Detour argued that the use of D's Nuts was causing confusion, mistake, or deception and infringed on his copyright. His attorneys filed an injunction last week seeking to block Donaldson from using the name. On Wednesday, U.S. District Court judge sided with Detour and ordered Donaldson to stop using D's Nuts or a similar name. The candy was still available for sale, with its original name on the Feastables website as of Thursday. That's super interesting, because it's just after the meme. But it is a similar product to what he was selling, I guess, so you could make the argument. No, I guess not really, though. He's making a gourmet peanut. This is chocolate with peanuts. I don't know. He lost, though. I'm not a fucking judge. I would say it's clearly not meant to infringe on your copyright. It's based off of an extremely popular meme. I just don't really see who would get confused. Him saying the traffic would otherwise go to his company is interesting. Yeah, it really is a very interesting claim to be making. But he wants of revisiting. But in light of recent news, I absolutely cannot stop myself from talking about it. A few days ago, I made an extremely hard video doing my best to honor the memory of one of the brightest lights the chess community has ever seen, Daniel Naroditsky, whom I was lucky enough to call a friend. He has unfortunately passed away, and I made a video doing my best to pay tribute to him and talk about the incredible legacy that he built and how he will always be remembered as one of the best teachers chess has ever seen, best streamers, best players, just overall just an amazing guy and an amazing force for good in the chess community. And he will be dearly missed by so many. I wanted to just focus on the incredibly positive effect Daniel had on so many people. And I didn't dive into the nitty-gritty of one very unsavory character, Vladimir Kramnik, and his role in some unfortunate times Daniel was going through. Today, I saw a statement from Vladimir Kramnik, and I just can't bite my tongue any longer. I cannot stand this man. I can't stand the things he says. I can't stand what he's become. I can't stand to even look at him. Just look at this. This is him playing chess, but it looks like I'm looking through the webcam of a creep in the process of deleting their browser history. Vlad Big Bad Kramnik has been on this crusade in the chess community where he has been just willy-nilly tossing out cheating allegations, seemingly at random sometimes. And he was posting these allegations against Daniel Naroditsky of cheating, these allegations that he was a dishonest player. Daniel was someone who cared very deeply about his reputation, so when someone with the prestige of Kramnik is coming out saying these horrible things, it obviously took a toll on his mental health, and it is something he was vocal about. There was never any evidence or anything at all to support Kramnik's allegations at any point in time. It was completely baseless. It was fucking disgusting. And I'm going to show you a brief clip of Daniel talking about it 11 months ago.
But this is a sustained, evil, and absolutely unhinged attempt to destroy my life. And I really don't, I'm tired of mincing words at this point. He is trying to ruin my life. He's trying to inflict emotional harm, physical harm on me. He knows exactly what he's doing. And this is one of the most wicked people that I've ever dealt with. I'm not trying to seek attention with this, but the people who are buying into this narrative, they exist at many levels, including at the very top level, and they include a large number of chess fans. Like, this is doing very serious damage and actual damage. It's not just like bots or, Russian spies who are believing Kramnik. He has a lot of authority. He's a fucking world champion.
Evil really is a great word for Kramnik, and I'm sure if you've paid attention recently, you've probably seen some of the top players come out to try and get some change here and get some accountability for what Kramnik has been doing. He has been completely out of control. He's a feral fucking animal. And he is still somehow trying to make himself the victim and how everyone else is the bad guy, and he's actually like the angel of the chess community. There are very few souls on this planet that genuinely view Kramnik positively. Even some of the best players in the world outright show their disdain for this creature. Hikaru recently had this to say about Kramnik.
I said it before, I'll say it again. Kramnik can go fuck himself. Like, I'll just say it. He can go fuck himself and he can rot in hell. That's all I'm gonna say, okay?
It's a sentiment shared by some of the actual best players in the world, condemning Kramnik and everything that he has become. So it's not just fans of Daniel or just fans of chess in general, it's also the top level players that fucking despise Kramnik. And the statement that he posted today is what's made me just furious to the point where I will just go ahead and just start spitting and shitting on this guy, because people need to be more aware of the damage that he has done, continues to do, and just how unhinged of a madman this guy is. I would like to express my deepest condolences to all of Daniel Naroditsky's loved ones in connection with the tragic and untimely passing of this remarkable chess player in person, which has deeply shaken me personally and the entire chess world. Hey Vlad, did you use AI for that? Because it certainly took you quite a few tries to even express any level of sorrow or condolences for the tragic passing of Daniel Naroditsky. It's worth remembering and reminding people that after the announcement of Daniel Naroditsky's passing, one of the first things Vladimir Kramnik did was take to Twitter to start wiggling his finger saying, "I told you so, I told you so." That was he literally, one of the first things he did was make it all about how he was so right. Blaming others, like how Kramnik was the only one that cared. He was saying, you gotta check on Daniel, this and that. No one else seemed to care. I was right. I saw what no one else did. You guys ignored this. That's what Kramnik did after it was announced that Daniel Naroditsky passed away. I don't think he's capable of expressing any level of like sorrow or emotion. This is a husk of a man. I think he needed AI assistant to give the best engine move here for trying to almost appear human, because I don't even think those are his words. What I think follows is definitely straight from the asshole of Kramnik, though, and you'll see what I mean. To my profound regret, this tragic event has become an opportunity for some to exploit it for their own interests and to launch an unprecedentedly cynical and unlawful campaign of harassment against me and my family. In this regard, I would like to make the following statements. This clown could only muster one sentence without devolving into talking all about himself and positioning himself as a victim. He starts calling the wambulance in the second sentence of this statement. Oh, me, wah, wah, wah. Look at all these French cries I've ordered. Oh my goodness. I'm like the actual victim of this tragedy because people are being mean to me. This is unprecedented. Oh my gosh, how could people not think about my feelings? This is so mean to me. And then he has the gall to say, I have never made any personal attack or insult towards Daniel Naroditsky. Absolute psychopath shit. He was the main perpetrator. Daniel was not shy about sharing his feelings about the effect Kramnik has had on his mental health through everything Kramnik was tossing his way, all the shit he was stirring over fucking baseless accusations. Kramnik bore a huge responsibility on the unfortunate feelings that Daniel was going through for a long time. Kramnik was the main villain in this community, and he has been for a while, and not just for everything with Daniel. He has done this for so many players. I have a hunch that he would try and copyright strike me or pursue legal action if I showed any of his clips, but he has entire compilations dedicated that people have compiled of him reporting people for cheating if they found a move he didn't think of. So he's lost some matches, or even in matches that he's drawn due to his own mistake, he has accused his opponent of being a cheater, getting engine moves because he didn't think of it, or if he did think of it, the other person shouldn't have because he's so much smarter than them because he's higher rated. He accuses people of cheating based on the most loosey-goosey of ideas. He is, by all possible definitions, the worst person in the chess community. And there has not been any real action taken against him, and it's reached this bubbling point now where some of the top players are on the right side of history, where they believe that more needs to be done to protect players from people like Kramnik. He is a destructive douchebag. He is a calamity of cringe. But because he was once a world champion, he does have accolades under his name. It carries weight. Anyway, though, back to his statement. Despite the tension in our relationship, I was the only person in the chess community who, noticing on video Daniel's obvious health issues a day before his death, publicly called for him to receive help. Unfortunately, this plea was ignored by everyone, and the subsequent attempts immediately following his passing to directly link this tragic event to my name, especially in light of this fact, cross all boundaries of basic human morality in my view. We are getting a lecture on human morality from a man who lacks any and all real emotion. This is an android worm person roach man. This is not someone who has any morality. He is trying to now say he's the only one that actually cared about Daniel, which is so far from the truth. He is the one that was actively at all stages over the last year or so trying to ruin Daniel's reputation based on fucking nothing. Absolutely nothing. And now here he is trying to position himself as like the, actual protector of Daniel, trying to look out for his well-being. It is psychopath shit. Actual psychopath shit. What he's referring to here, where he's talking about, he was calling for Daniel to receive help, it was him making, a post on Twitter, hey, someone should check on him. Which, by the way, Daniel's closest friends actively were checking in with Daniel and doing their best for Daniel. Meanwhile, what was Kramnik doing? Continuing this crusade against him. Just a blatant lie, a pure fabrication, a disconnect from reality. There is overwhelming oodles of evidence to the contrary here. Kramnik does not care about Daniel, never did. Daniel openly stated Kramnik is one of the most evil people he's ever had to deal with. Just a wicked presence in the chess community. Yet here he is trying to say he's the only person that was actually trying to look out for him. It is just despicable behavior from this person. My private and public requests made a year ago for a review of Grandmaster Naroditsky's compliance with fair play rules were ignored, despite a significant amount of evidence, only part of which was published supporting the validity of this request. I have always been and remain ready to provide these materials to any relevant authority. In his next point, literally, point number 3, right after him saying how much he actually cared about him and was obviously looking out for him, he then goes in to try and, once again, push this narrative that Daniel Naroditsky wasn't complying with fair play rules according to Kramnik. Kramnik is still here trying to make these accusatory statements against Daniel Naroditsky, using his classic source I made it the fuck up evidence. Anyway, let me finish the statement before I dive in deeper. Point number 4. Certain provocative statements by public figures, sometimes escalating to blatantly false and criminal accusations against me regarding Daniel's death, which have led, among other things, to threats to the safety of myself and my family and violations of my personal rights, will be the subject of criminal and civil lawsuits currently being prepared by my lawyers. This is just a blanket threat to everyone that's calling this guy a huge asshole, which he is a huge asshole. There's no lawsuit you can issue for people pointing out that you are a giant piece of shit who absolutely did play a role in the mental health of Daniel. That is something that is provable with an overwhelming amount of evidence. Number 5, I welcome the officially announced opening of a criminal investigation in the United States into the circumstances of Daniel Naroditsky's death, and if needed, can even assist the investigation with some important non-public information at my disposal. Finally, with full responsibility, I want to state that I am in good physical and mental condition, and under no circumstances am I planning to take my own life. I'll quickly address that last little nugget there at the end, because you're probably scratching your head wondering why the fuck did he even include something like that, mentioning that he's in good physical mental condition, not planning on taking his own life. That seems to kind of come out of nowhere. And it's because Vladimir Kramnik has devolved into a fucking paranoid freak. This guy probably thinks that the deep state reptilians are spying on him through his fucking electric toothbrush. Now, anyone with a functioning frontal lobe can look at this statement and immediately smell how fucking foul it is and how stinky it is. His first statement is about how he's never, attacked Daniel or anything like that. And then you go to point number 3 and he immediately starts tossing out the cheating allegations again about how, I have all this evidence about Daniel Naroditsky not complying with fair play rules, by the way. So he's already contradicting himself in his own fucking statement. So you've never personally attacked Daniel, yet here you are, literally 2 sentences later, attacking Daniel in your own statement. Hey pal, you just blowing from Stupid Town? Classic Kramnik here, the Kramnik Gambit, unable to express any actual real sympathy or anything at all, unable to take any level of accountability here. He doesn't mention his sizable role in the mental health of Daniel Naroditsky, who made it very clear that what Kramnik was saying, what he was doing, was hurting him in a big way. But Kramnik always disregarded it, and even here, doesn't even acknowledge it, not even slightly. In fact, he tries to position himself as the one that actually cared about Daniel. It is crazy. This is a crazy person. This is someone that does need to be checked in the chess community. So all of the top players and all the community that are begging for action against Kramnik here in the community, I think are 100% correct. Something absolutely has to change. This statement from Kramnik had me fuming. Still does. I am still infuriated by it. I cannot believe that this fucking garbage bag of a person posted this. The only solace I can find in all of this is I know with 100% confidence Daniel Naroditsky will always be remembered for the amazing, talented player, teacher, and friend that he was, who contributed more to chess than most people could ever possibly fathom. One of the best commentators in chess, with one of the best libraries chess has ever seen, with educational tools that can get anyone interested about the game because his passion was infectious, and he was so efficient at teaching high-level chess theory, making it digestible and entertaining. One of the best streamers in chess, an amazing friend, an amazing guy. He will always be remembered for the positive, wholesome force for good that he was. Whereas Kramnik, he won't be remembered for his chess achievements. What people will remember Kramnik for is everything that came after. He devolved into a hateful, putrid, delusional person, and it will overshadow all of his accomplishments in chess. Chess history will look back on this man very negatively. And since he's threatening legal action, he's certainly welcome to try with me here. I don't believe I've said anything defamatory. I've just been insulting you, which I'm well within my right to do. I do not like you. I find you to be a disgrace. I think your behavior is shameful, and you deserve to be insulted for everything you have done, everything you have said, and everything you continue to say. I cannot stand Vladimir Kramnik. That's really about sacred than a fishing tournament. Just some good old-fashioned elbow grease, a fishing rod, some bait, and grabbing Mother Nature by the balls and saying, "We evolved past the need to be aquatic creatures. Now we live on the land, but we're coming back out to the sea just to prove who the boss is, who's the top of the food chain." The point I'm making is fishing tournaments, they've been around for a long time, and there hasn't really been any major scandals, at least none that have hit the mainstream that I'm aware of, until today. Right now, there is a massive cheating scandal going on in the professional fishing scene that is shocking. This is a doozy. We got some Bassmaster foolery going on around here. Kind of. Yeah, the sanctity of fishing has been disrespected. Unfortunately, there has been another cheating scandal, this time in professional fishing. Every sport ever right now is having cheating scandals. It's crazy. I don't know what's going on. Pandora's box has been open. And this one, it's quite crafty. I've seen the video beforehand, but I'll of course play it again to catch everyone up to speed. It's a pretty smart idea. I'm surprised that this isn't more common. Thanks for your sub, Lancer, Baggy of the Prime, Kintarit, and the 10 gift subs, Ace. Thank you, Ace. Your sub, Gavin, Delicious, Oni, and the Bits Mushroom. And give sub, Father. It's like a NASCAR rally. Show me your butthole.
Where's the other one?
Now, I'm going to be on the side of the fisherman here. This is legitimately a problem because by cheating in these tournaments, they won a lot of money, robbing people of that prize. So it wouldn't be silly to get authorities involved. Because fishing tournaments, they actually do have decent prize pools. It's more than you'd expect. You know, like you're not going to be like a multi-billionaire off fishing tournaments or anything, but it's a good chunk of change, especially for just like hobby fishermen or even semi-professional or professional fishermen. It's a good chunk. Like sometimes it'll get up to 10, 20, 30 grand from the ones I've seen. This one was 300k. 300k? Holy fuck. Oh, that's what this guy made in total from his winnings. Oh, from cheating. Okay, gotcha. Jesus.
I don't want anybody to touch these guys. I want everybody to go to jail. Tell the cops. It's us.
That's a lot of Wrangler jeans. So here's the method they use to cheat. Actually very smart, not gonna lie. Yep. Lead anal beads. They thought of everything. They put little weights in the fish they caught so that way they were heavier. Because when it comes to professional fishing, it's all about the weight of the fish you catch. That's how you're scored, right? You catch a big, heavy, girthy fish, you get, you know, more points for it. So this guy was stuffing weights down their throat to make them heavier. Actually ingenious, by the way. Like, that's pretty fucking smart.
Fucking champ, dude. I mean, we all fucking knew it. What the fuck, man?
One guy's just so disappointed. Hey, man, what the fuck?
A filleted fish. Look at this is a fillet. Yeah. A fillet fish. It's a walleye fillet.
Yep.
He needs to go to jail.
Now, one thing I had a question on, because I haven't finished the video, I wanted to save the ending for stream so that way we're all learning together. Is this the cheater right here? Because he looks very defeated. I'm assuming this is him. Yeah, it is. Jake, as the good book said, you can't cheat in fishing. One of the 10 commandments. And he's got sponsors too. At least judging by his jacket here. That's rough.
You got anything to say? Hey, you guys refund all that fucking money. You fucking talk shit to me, dude. And that's what you fucking do. How many fucking ways are there?
Oh man. I'm surprised it didn't get more aggressive. What did Steve do?
Take pictures. I need pictures. You videoing this whole thing?
Got video.
Yeah. I videoed it right off the rip.
Was Steve the one that caught
Hold on,
him?
let me take pictures. You fucked over a lot of people, man. They've been doing this shit for years. Cheating motherfuckers, man. Piece of fucking shit. You got a fucking boat. You got thousands of fucking dollars. You stole from
He's absolutely right. He did steal all that from the people that competed legitimately. So how was he caught? I didn't want to look too deep into this because I thought it'd be more fun to uncover the truth together. Where can I read about like the method they used to catch him? Because now at this point, I'm expecting a lot. I'm expecting they use like infrared scanners or something. They brought in a fish whisperer to ask the fish how much it weighed. And then when it turns out the fish was lighter than the scale said, they got suspicious. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. This is more than just an accusation. This is like as definitive proof as you can find of cheating. Fish aren't just swallowing these lead weights. Like, that's just not happening. This guy's a 100% cheater. It wasn't an accident. Okay, so they came out with a firm statement. Disgusted guys and gals, I'm sorry for letting you down for so long. I'm glad I caught cheating taking place in your loot at the same time. What in tarnation? What is that? I'm glad I caught cheating taking place in your loot. What does that mean? It's an acronym for the tourney. Oh, the Lake Erie Walleye Trail. Ah, gotcha, thanks. Nice. Good work, loot. How did they catch him, though? Clearly got away with this for a long time. How were they finally busted? Why weren't they bleeding? Well, if you read this paragraph or this sentence right here, it explains. 2 anglers were caught cheating in a Cleveland fishing tournament by adding lead weights in fish fillets that appeared to be previously prepared to increase the weight of the fish. So it wasn't just the weights. That's why he kept pulling out the, look at this fillet! Fisher, the tournament's organizer, told 19 News the fish looked smaller than they weighed. This prompted the fish to be checked for any signs of cheating. Wait, they eyeballed it? How did they get away with it for so long then? I assume the weight was just like marginally bigger than the fish, so that way it wasn't too suspicious, but if they were able to eyeball like, wow, this is outrageous compared to the size, how could they have possibly got away with it for a long time? Or maybe Fisher's just got a really strong eye. Yeah, no, this guy's got a great name to be a fishing tournament organizer. His name's just straight up Fisher, so that's cute. I run a fishing tournament in Louisiana and we have busted someone for this exact same thing. When we went to put the fish on the scale, the weights fell out of its mouth. Oh, get fucked. Unlucky. He's got to work on stuffing that turkey. Amateur. He made $300K in just 1 year. He's made $3 million total from cheating. Oh, god damn. 3 million clams? Yeah, has he made a statement yet? What's his name? Jake? They just kept saying Jake. Jake Runyon and Chase Kaminsky. It was 10 pounds over the previous record, but the fish didn't look record size. Oh, so they really just flew too close to the sun. They went wumbo on it for no reason. I mean, legitimately, there should be like legal action that comes from this. If he's cheated $3 million out of these tournaments, that should be a lawsuit. And the shameless... A little bit of gaming history. An event that I'll no doubt be telling my grandparents... Nope, I said that the wrong way. An event that I will no doubt be a grandparent and still... What the fuck? It's an event that when I'm a grandparent, like I'm really old, and I have a granddaughter or grandson, I will sit them down and tell them where I was when this moment happened. I'm not even going to redo the intro. What an absolute fumble. Point is, today at a huge tournament that our squad, the Moist Esports squad, was competing in, there was a hacking incident, the likes of which the world had never seen to this scale. It was for Apex Legends. This is a game that's no stranger to hacking. There's been more cybersecurity attacks on Apex Legends than there has been on the goddamn US government. Like, at this point, I'm starting to wonder if North Korea happens to be getting involved with hacking Apex just for fun because of how prevalent of an issue this has become. But it's never happened in the actual ALGS, which is the major tournament series. Today was the NA regional final. Right now, our team, Moist Esports, is second. And per usual, I was watch partying, and then something went awry. There were reports that a player for Dark Zero had just been gifted hacks. And I thought this was some kind of meme or something, but after the fact, it turns out, no, someone turned hacks on against his will. I think the only reason this hasn't happened sooner is just because of pure fucking luck.
What the fuck? I'm getting hacked. I'm getting hacked. But
I know. Sure. Can you play the game?
Bro, I'm getting hacked.
I know, but can you play? Can you play?
Yeah, but it's cheating. The fuck?
I know. Sure. I know. What?
Like what?
Now, if you're not familiar to the game, I'll just go ahead and break this down for you. This isn't normal. He can see every player, name, their health, everything. He's basically omniscient at this point. It's wall hacks. He was gifted wall hacks. It turned him into a goddamn Professor Xavier here. He can see everyone. He knows where they are, what they're doing, where they're going, what their health is. And that's cheating, obviously. Now, the player is not a cheater. This was something that the hacker injected into their game and turned on. He left the game shortly after the hacks were activated, which was a very noble thing for him to do, very sportsmanlike to not like ruin the competitive integrity of the rest of the match, because he had more information than the NSA at that point thanks to the hacker. I also saw this tweet floating around here to try and explain how Destroyer 2009 was doing this. It's also a screenshot of the hack that was briefly seen there. You can see all of the different features that he blessed them with. So according to this individual, the hacker Destroy 2009 is using webhooks, which is a feature that makes it possible to send data in real time between two different systems or applications. And according to some of the pros in the lobby, they did like a system scan of their computer after the ALGS was stopped because of this. And a lot of them reported that they had viruses on their computer that weren't previously present. I don't know how true that is. Right now it's all anecdotal and like rumors amongst the pro players. I also don't know if they're just memeing about it, to be fair, with a couple of them saying it. But it does seem plausible. Like, that is something that has happened in other games where if there's like a really severe vulnerability, someone can actually get into your PC itself. We've seen that in Dark Souls, actually. So it is in the realm of possibility. I don't know if that's necessarily the case here. I'm not smart enough, I'm a fucking idiot, to understand exactly how these hacks happened, but it is definitely not good. So he left, and that still wasn't the end. The hacker could have injected cheats to other players that weren't streaming and maybe decided not to leave. You know, it's entirely possible. It threw the entire tournament out of whack because how widespread was the issue? And we got an answer because another streamer who was competing in the tournament, well, the biggest streamer in Apex, Imperial Hal, also got gifted aimbot. But yeah, those that don't know, Apex has a very colorful history of hacking problems in their game. Hacks that you've never even imagined were possible. Such as, if you try and shoot at the hacker, it forces your guns to infinitely reload. They have hacks that can just take over your shit, like you're seeing right now, where it literally takes it over and gives you hacks. There was also the hack that gave you like 3 guns.
They're shooting bridge.
They're pushing. Come take the building. Come take the building.
Come in. Okay.
Can we shoot? Can we shoot height? Can we shoot height?
Yeah, shoot now.
I'm cheating. I'm fucking shit. I got aimbot. I have aimbot.
Oh no.
So who is this anonymous hacker known as 4chan? Who is the culprit behind this attack that shut down Apex for today? Destroyer 2009. A 15-year-old has managed to hack Apex Legends on the biggest stage for this game, with pro players competing for millions of dollars, so a lot of money on the line. That's a lot of fucking clams out there, and a 15-year-old was able to breach their cybersecurity protocol and completely ruin it to the point that Apex had to just call the entire day off because he wouldn't stop gifting people aimbot and wall hacks. Now, not only did he gift them aimbot and wall hacks, but he also gifted them thousands upon thousands of Apex packs, which is their loot box mechanic. So some of these streamers' accounts just got juiced out the gills. Krampus came early and he delivered the coal, and some Apex packs to some lucky streamers, I suppose. But this shut down the ALGS as they investigate and try and fix this issue, which I have no confidence in them doing. Apex has been in this state of disarray when it comes to their security, their anti-cheat. It's terrible. There's no excuse for it. It feels like just a losing battle with them not even really putting any effort into the war. Since day one, really. When I was like a competitive player in Apex at like a semi-pro level, hacking was big then, and it's only become more frequent now. And it doesn't feel like they've done a whole lot to fix it. It really doesn't. It feels like Apex is less secure than Club Penguin. It's ridiculous just how easy it seems to be to hack in it. I am not surprised this happened. I am only surprised it didn't happen sooner. Like, I really think the only reason the ALGS hasn't been hacked before is just because no one gave a fuck to do it. They didn't care enough to bother hacking in there and ruining it. But today, Destroyer 2009 said, you know what, I finished my Algebra 1 homework a little early. I've got some time to kill. I'll just go ahead and throw some hacks into the ALGS for a little bit of chaos and pandemonium. And so he did. Like, it's really upsetting. Because I love Apex Legends, and I really love the esports scene for Apex Legends. I love it. Our squad is incredible. I love watch partying each and every event that we're in. It's great. But there are just so many glaring issues with the game itself, this being one of them, that it desperately needs to be addressed. They need to do more to prevent shit like this from happening. This hasn't happened in any other esport ever that I know of. And another thing that I'm just going to mention while we're ranting and venting about this, going through this cathartic session of vomit, the way ALGS handles their LANs is also kind of laughable. Like, at one point, they hosted it through, like, the normal private servers, right? Because at a LAN event, it means every team that is competing is there in the same physical location in person. So you would expect them to host it through the private server locally or whatever. But for some inexplicable reason, they actually made the decision to host a LAN through online servers, which everyone said was a disaster waiting to happen because it just leaves you vulnerable to all kinds of problems like players lagging or DCing or technical issues out the wazoo, which is inevitably what happened during like the Split 2 playoffs. During this event, there was a suspected DDoS attack when everything was halted for over 20 minutes. EA denied that it was DDoS, saying that on-site technical issues had no evidence of a DDoS attack, but many players and teams were still convinced of it, including me and all of us at Moist Esports. Hosting a LAN event over online servers is silly. It's not like they have to do that. They made the conscious decision to drink stupid juice, I guess, because the Split 1 playoffs were hosted on a private tournament server. But for some reason, Split 2, they decided not to do that and instead just used a private part of a public server, which left it vulnerable, which everyone told them would be a problem, and, well, it turned out to be a problem. Now, let's assume that for the next major, they make that decision again to use online servers to host it. They've done it before. Well, who's to say Destroyer 2009 won't come out of the shadows and wreak havoc once more, like the boogeyman riding straight from hell on horseback and inject hacks into the major? You're fucked if that happens, because people bought tickets to attend it, teams flew out there to compete in it. You won't have the luxury of just postponing it and doing it a different day. You can't reschedule that because, again, you've also only purchased that arena for those set dates. You'd have to refund everyone, including the teams, the players. It'd be a complete disaster. And it is very possible if they decide to once again host a LAN through online servers, since Destroyer 2009 has really put the clown makeup on them here to show that they can be hacked even at the biggest possible stage, at the highest possible level. It's a big issue, clearly. So yeah, that's kind of the big Apex hacking situation in a nutshell. Hopefully they get it resolved, and hopefully everything is smooth sailing from here on out, and they actually put some real effort into developing their anti-cheat and evolving it further to finally make a real dent in the cheating problem with the game, and really grab the bull by the horns here and start fixing shit. That would be wonderful. I hope this will be the wake-up call for that. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Fakes blindfolded Super Mario 64 speedrun. I love cheating. I love this kind of shit. Let's see. I have not heard of this before.
Despite the immense popularity of Super
Jesus,
Mario
what is that? A
64
fucking
speedrun,
soiled
there's
diaper on his
comparatively
face?
Small amount of people running the blindfolded categories, a testament to how difficult
Or like a heating pad?
really is. I have here a video of one of these runs, and I aim to show some of the clear discrepancies between this run and the genuine blindfolded runs of SM64 that are out there. The best time on a run he has currently submitted is an 1826.
Ew.
Relatively mid-level time for 16-star. The first thing
Pathetic.
that actually put me off when I was watching this, or punching.
I honestly
against the wall
thought this
Mario
guy was the
blindfolded-
cheater because this thing looks so over the top. Straight up just looked like, it looks like Among Us. Like, this shit is crazy. I thought that this was some kind of elaborate scam, but I'm guessing this is a legitimate runner. What is he wearing? Can someone, like, it's not a blindfold. This is like a whole goddamn, like, face sauna thing. Some, like, actual Daft Punk shit. It's a towel? How's that a towel? It's like karate safety gear that SpongeBob wore. Hats off to him, though. Like, it looks fucking crazy. Like, this is hardcore.
Looking at a legitimate example by Bubzia, you can see that a consistent setup with clear intention is being used in order to get onto the Chain Chomp's pole. Note the use of a notched dangler.
Turns out
and fixed
everyone's
camera in order
cheating.
to guarantee
They're all
direct
just trying
path
to
the pole in
pretend
the
the
corner of
best
the
they
stage.
can.
Comparatively, this runner seemed to have absolutely no normalized setup whatsoever. He takes what looks like either an intentional death or a legitimate mistake, and then tries again a second time. This time around, he seems to be using an almost completely different, yet still unnormalized setup to get onto the pole. With how much focus and skill are required to complete a blindfolded run, it's an anomaly that this runner with barely any practice is so casually able to do a strat that no other blindfolded runner has attempted.
Well, he's
And
just
yet
the
with
god
absolutely
gamer.
No normalized strats, he seems to do everything with some relative ease. In the next star, he goes for the traditional
He's
cannonless
the
setup
some
that you would
random
normally
guy.
see in most sighted runs. Once again, looking at a blindfolded version of this strat, there is a clear intention with every input using normalized movements and guaranteed setups. Looking back
God,
at
the
this
blindfolded
however,
run is
the movement
crazy.
across the falling bridge and over to the piranha plant is extremely wobbly and very inconsistent. He then lines up next to the plank using these extremely small adjustments that have no audio cues whatsoever. Anyone that runs this game or has even tried this trick before knows that it's
Yeah, this is
precise.
super fake.
The
Oh my
only possible
god.
way anyone could do it
He didn't even
blindfolded
try.
with the movement used here would be if they weren't actually blindfolded at all, and were instead using a distinctly visual cue. Here, only a true gamer such as this man would be able to somehow sidestep this Goomba, quickly make his way up the path, and then do this long jump to the next red all completely blindfolded and with absolutely no setup necessary. Simply amazing.
What was the point though? Like, surely he didn't think that.
He then pushes a Goomba that he claims he heard, even though there is no good
He
way
smelt
of
it.
gauging distance that precise with sound cues.
No, he's got a super sniffer. He's like Scooby Doo.
Faster and safer to just keep walking forward anyway.
There's no way he'd think that he'd
Notice
fool the
then
whole
the small
community that
adjustment he
actively
makes in
runs
order to
this
be
game
lined up
though,
with the final
blindfolded.
slope. Anyone who is actually blindfolded here would have almost certainly
what's the
kept
point?
holding right with no adjustment. Moving on to basement, we see another series of extremely suspicious and inconsistent setups. In Shifting Sandland, he is somehow able to get the Talon Star using a strategy only viable for visual runs. The
Until
amount of adjustment
now.
needed to long jump to the Fly Guy and twirl over to Klepto is simply too precise to be done consistently in a blindfolded run.
More
That
like
doesn't
to be
stop
done
us,
at
though.
all.
He's able to do it first try with no issues. The last half of this run is so blatantly fake that it makes the previous 20 minutes
thank you,
look
Bryce.
completely legit by comparison.
Yes. Oh, come on, let's go.
Yeah, let's
We now come
fucking
to this
go.
part. In my opinion, there is absolutely no way he can know how close or far away he is from the door because he is using literally no
No,
sense.
he's
The exact same is true for
he's
his
smelling the
Penguinz0
game,
door.
baby.
Once again, with absolutely no discernible audio cues and no real setup whatsoever, he somehow either knows exactly where he is on the door, or just gets lucky enough to clip through it after randomly guessing. He spends around 30 seconds here walking back and forth along the door, and somehow is able to find the exact right spot to make it through. Somehow it still gets worse after this. At this point,
I'm
he pretty much
I'm
knows
actually
the rest of
convinced
the
that
game
he's doing
without
it for
thinking
real.
about what a
He
real
is
blindfolded run
blindfolded.
should look like. It really
I think
looks
I'm
like
just
he's
seeing an
given up
ultimate
on
gamer.
trying to sell the illusion any further.
I slid off something. Fuck, am I at the submarine? Yes, okay.
The fact that he even says this is strange to me. There's literally nothing else in this level
Overacting a little bit.
besides the sub. So it doesn't
Fuck,
really
am I
make any
playing
sense
Super
to act
Mario?
as if he had to figure out what he was
Jeez,
trying.
okay, well, this is good. This is good
He
for
needed
us.
to make it look like he had. Despite this, he is somehow able to
Oh!
loop back around at the perfect angle and lands back on the fin.
It's his
Once
gamer
again, with
senses.
absolutely zero sound cues or any setup. Nothing suspicious to see here. And then there's Fire Sea.
Well, this has always just been an easy level, though. I could do this blindfolded, and I haven't played this game in 8
Right.
years now.
So after some
It's
more
easy.
fake strats and Fire Sea,
That's some pussy
one
shit.
fake Bowser throw setup, he then commits what is possibly the most obvious and completely shameless move in the entire run.
I don't know how he tops some of the other shit, to be honest.
Fuck, I didn't get that extra life.
I was laughing my ass off when I first saw this. Not only does he somehow know exactly
What a
where the
man!
box is, but he also knows exactly what direction the 1-up will go in once it spawns, something completely determined by RNG. Then, after chasing it on a moving platform for a completely arbitrary amount of time,
I'm sure there's a reasonable
somehow knows
explanation.
exactly when and where to jump to the left. You don't even need to know anything about Super Mario 64 or blindfolded speedrunning to understand that what just happened is completely bullshit. Immediately after skipping the first 1-up, he messes around on the first rotating elevator, grabbing the next 1-up in the process.
Yes, okay.
All clearly...
His
a calculated
acting's not
setup.
even good, though. Like, why not
After
really
this,
sell
He
it?
once again makes an intentional mistake.
Like, oh my fucking god, it's an extra life!
Blindfolded.
Whee! Go wild.
Following this, he traverses the wooden platforms and tries to go for yet another 1-up.
This man's addicted to 1-ups.
He clearly saw this 1-up with his eyes, but then remembered he was supposed to be blindfolded. So he passes it off by acting like he knew there should be a 1-up there, and goes back to grab it. Again, no setup whatsoever.
There should be, like, some bombs up. Yes, okay.
This is absolutely pointless, as he had already just verified where he was. All he had to do here was hold forward and he would have reached the next wall. At this point, he once again reiterates the fact that this is only his third blindfolded run ever.
Wow, he's a prodigy.
This is your second blindfolded run, isn't it?
Technically this is my third.
And to be fair,
First one I did was like.
while he can see, it is still blindfolded. There is a blindfold there.
But this guy doesn't do that. He instead goes for a regrab and gets it, again with no setup and no sound cues. He hits the throw on his second try, again using the normal visual.
This man's a hero! Let's go!
During his second throw, he stops and talks for about 30 seconds.
Maybe he's like the
to explain how he
Daredevil.
First learned to speedrun
He,
blindfolded.
like, he's like a superhuman who can do things blind.
Viewer is asking.
And well, during streams, I would like, because I knew before I did my first blind
Holy fuck, James, you're good at blindfolded. Oh, that poor guy. No.
Just like
I guarantee he bought some shungite.
Or just look, is because I'm trying to time it based on like where my thumb is.
Oh.
On the controller.
No, now it makes sense.
Because that's typically like a right around where Mario is, like
right.
the direction that he's gonna throw. So I
usually
need to be like, if I think the bomb is where I think it is, if the bomb is where
Mm-hmm.
I think it is, and I'm looking at it,
then we're golden.
Obviously, none of
then
this
we're
makes
in.
sense in the first place, but he is directly.
Were you listening to the explanation?
Here he
feels the
something vague
chakra
about
vibrations in
using
the
where his
air.
thumb is on the stick to know where Bowser is, which already makes no sense on its own. Except he also mentioned in his first Bowser throw that he was using sound cues. Maybe he's only pretending to be blindfolded so he can hide the fact that he sucks at Bowser throws.
Oh, let's not get personal here. Okay? Come on now. Let's be professional about this.
He eventually does land the last throw, luckily avoiding all the fire on the ground
Unbelievable.
and barely avoiding
Besmirching this good man's
Nothing but
name.
pure skill and game sense.
So would you be opposed to doing Bowser in the sky and throws while turned around with a blanket over my head?
Yeah, that's reasonable. Say yes.
$50 if I do it turned around with a blanket over my head?
I'll give you 500. Start a bidding war. Don't cry. Say yes. Yeah. Let's get hungry. Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Fuck.
Despite the glaring flaws in this person's gameplay, he has somehow been able to convince all but a few of his viewers that his blindfolded runs are legit. Messages in his Twitch and Facebook gaming chats show that most of the people watching him are completely convinced that what they're seeing is real. The best I can possibly assume in this situation is that he may actually be doing some of these parts at least partially blindfolded, only peeking through the blindfold whenever he's completely lost or doesn't know what to do. It's either that or the blindfold is just completely see-through, and his only goal during the run is to make it look like he can't actually see.
I think that's exactly what it is.
I almost thought this run was a joke, but it's...
So, before we get to the conclusion and his apology, I am going to speculate he can see the whole time and just does his best to act like it's blindfolded, but he doesn't know like how to ride that line. So he's either extremely overacting or underacting. It's never like good acting. It's just a poor performance all around. I was in the Hunger Games. I don't like to bring that up too often, but with my acting expertise, I can always pick apart acting, whether it's good or bad. So I just have to make that clear. And his explanation of Bowser with his thumb on the control stick correlating to where Mario is in the Nether Realm, the Shadow Realm, whatever, there's some real merit to that, though, I think.
I want to give a big shout out to both Katoon and Bubzia for their incredible help on this video. They helped to clarify a lot of questions I had about blindfolded Mario 64, and this video would not have been as comprehensive without their inputs. Also thanks to both them and Nabori for allowing me to use their footage for comparisons. I've left links to all of their streams.
Holy shit, did you see that? There's like 15 blindfolds on him.
Also thanks to both them and Nabori.
It was a towel, a blindfold, a blindfold.
I've left links to all of their streams
all
and
together.
YouTube channels in the description. Please check all three of them out if you want to see some legitimate blindfolded runs of Mario.
I kind of want to learn Super Mario speedrunning, to be honest. I tried back in 2012 watching Siglimic. It's hard, but it looks so fun. That was a great video. So you said the guy apologized? Okay, so I'm guessing it's this one. That is the... I don't want to just keep pausing it, but a PSA to anyone. Never start an apology video like that. That is the most cliche shit ever. I'm surprised he doesn't have a dog on his lap. Rough. The sigh. If he follows it up by saying, I didn't want to have to make this video, I'm going to lose my fucking mind.
Now,
what you may not know is that speed run was purposely fake.
Oh, fuck yeah, let's go.
At all similar to other blindfolded speedruns. I've watched blindfolded speedruns, and they're very impressive. They're very impressive.
They are. They are very impressive.
And I never once wanted to take away anything from those individuals that do those runs. I have the utmost respect for them. Those runs are very impressive. At this point, I've never
You should double down and be like, those runs fucking suck compared to mine.
I myself am a speedrunner, but I have no legitimate interest in going that route with my speed runs. I know the video paints me in a very specific light, and I'm not a bad person. I'm not like a mean-spirited person.
It didn't make any of those claims. Spiteful.
I don't do things maliciously. It's not who I am. This was just good fun. This was just jokes.
I had fun.
My downfall.
I did enjoy it.
And others have understood where I'm coming from, and while some of them might say, "Ah, man, you know, that's still rough," but that
he doesn't even cry.
But again,
why are you gonna make an apology video and not cry?
Like I didn't.
All right. I think what he should have done, like if I was his PR manager, I think he should have come into this apology really combative. He should have come in here and be like, anyone who thinks I cheated, I challenge you to fucking wrestle me in the Thunderdome. I've rented out the local octagon, and if you think I cheated, you can come fucking fight me. Like, he should have just come in here really aggressive and just denied the fate or destiny that people's lives follow a predetermined path that they're forced to go down. I've never really subscribed to that belief until recently. I think there are people out there that are just born to be losers. Just like a joke of a person that follows this trajectory of the most pathetic path possible. I'm talking specifically about one man that I've made multiple videos on now, named Billy Mitchell, the self-proclaimed video game player of the century, a lame-ass title that he pretty much gave himself because he had some high scores in some old video games, most notably his King of Kong score, the high score in Donkey Kong, which he cheated for. I know that's a dangerous word to be talking about in the same sentence as Billy because he is so litigious. He sues everyone who accuses him of cheating or even makes fun of him in relation to cheating. He even tried to sue Cartoon Network because his feelings got hurt when there was a villain in the regular show that bears a resemblance to him who blows up when he loses his high score in a video game. And he got so offended, this sensitive nematode got so fucking upset about it that he tried suing Cartoon Network and subsequently got laughed out of court for it. So not only is he so pitiful that he fakes his video game high scores, but he also is an insufferable douchebag who legally comes after anyone that makes jokes about him or talks about him in a bad light. And he fails to realize that the person that does the most damage to his reputation is himself for these absolute childish tantrums that he throws. He is a known cheater. There are mountains upon mountains of evidence against him. There is more evidence to confirm Billy Mitchell has cheated than there is evidence to confirm the sun is hot. He is a fucking cheater. But even if you want to disregard all of the evidence that currently exists, Carl Jobst recently made an amazing breakdown of new evidence that just surfaced that 100% confirms that he has cheated his scores. The video is amazing. Carl Jobst, I recently made a video on about Billy Mitchell because he is being sued by Billy not once but twice. One of them because he used a meme that insinuated Billy as a cheater. It's beyond comical at this point, but now all of that seems like it's going to be completely washed. You can just wipe your ass with a lawsuit at this point with the new evidence that surfaced that Carl Jobst highlights here. And I'd like to go over the whole situation here with you and show you some highlights from it. I'm also going to put a link to Carl's video in the description so you can check it out in its entirety. Overall, I'm just super excited about this and extremely happy to see where it goes from here because this should 100% put the absolute kibosh on all of his lawsuits since the truth is now known. No matter, like, if you disregard all of the other evidence, This one is completely irrefutable, I think, and that's great. Billy Mitchell, man. He just can't stop collecting these L's. Just to quickly bring everyone up to speed here. Billy Mitchell, video game player of the century, also punching bag for the regular show, where he even tried to sue them for making fun of him in an episode, has come after many people legally for all kinds of defamation cases. And the core of it boils down to people accusing him of being a cheater. And I'm going to go a step further. They're not just accusing him like, allegations of cheating. They have caught him being a cheater. But he has always maintained his innocence. And that's where it all stems from. He still claims he's never cheated, and anyone that makes fun of him or says otherwise gets a nice fat lawsuit from Billy Mitchell. Cooked up in the deepest pits of his basement, I guess. I'm pretty sure he writes them himself, and he takes it as far as it can go. Have you been sued? Billy Mitchell has still not sued me, and I have made fun of him fucking 50 times by now. I don't know why. I actually feel left out. I feel like I'm not part of the cool kids lunch table here because Billy Mitchell won't sue me. He is suing Carl because Carl used a meme of Billy that made fun of him and insinuated he was a cheater. Carl used a meme. I have point blank called this absolutely disheveled, drunk-looking man a cheater a million times. Point blank. And he won't come after me? Asshole. I'm gonna sue him for refusing to sue me.
How is it possible that he performed them at a live event in front of hundreds of people if he faked it and actually played on an emulator? The videotapes must be fake, or are not his actual gameplay, or should just be ignored, because he has real people that say he really did it, and they saw it happen, so it must be legit. As Billy said in his lawsuit, if everyone is lying, it must be a conspiracy akin to that of the Kennedy assassination. But here's the...
Wait, what? Pardon? What was that? Thus, Twin Galaxies' case essentially rests on a conspiracy nearly as broad and untenable as the Kennedy assassination. Like I said, I'm pretty sure he writes these himself. What self-respecting lawyer is going to sit down and put that in text? Who? Who would do that? Like, I'm surprised he doesn't go into, like, the Zapruder film. What they faked here is akin to the Zapruder film. And in fact, the moon landing too, while we're at it.
The videotapes were the only tangible evidence these scores ever happened, so that's all anyone had to go off. Aside from the tapes, it was just people saying that it happened, which really doesn't cut it. There was no footage of Billy actually playing. There was nothing to indicate that he was even there, or...
I'm sorry to keep pausing so frequently, it's just such a wacky case. He still believes that he shouldn't be accused of being a cheater, because even if those tapes are faked or whatever... People saw him do it live and have said, verbally said, he did it. That's fucking useless. I could get people together and say that I grew 5 inches. But then if you see me on camera and I'm 5'6", I can't just be like, no, that doesn't make sense. That's as untenable as the Kennedy assassination. This is all fabricated. It's fraudulent. Look at all these people that said that I grew 5 inches. It's fucking worthless. It's a fucking worthless statement, and I don't know if Billy's too stupid to realize that or if he truly does believe it. Because why would anyone take you at your word? I could say I got the high score on Donkey Kong. I got a 15 billion. And then I could have everyone in chat say, yeah, Charlie got a 15 billion. Should Twin Galaxies put that on their website and make me the world record holder? I don't have any video evidence of it, but I have a ton of people that said I did it. The answer should be a resounding no. It's so silly. It's so silly.
That he played at all. That is, until now. For the first time in 15 years, photos of Billy Mitchell at one of these events where he claims to have achieved one of his world records have surfaced. And I'm not going to beat around the bush. These photos absolutely destroy Billy's case. He is done. There is no more doubt Billy will lose his lawsuit. These photos...
This is already so fucking good. So these photos destroy the lawsuit. Why? The referee who looks really sad to be there? Did he let the cat out of the bag? Man, that tie is mean though. Look at Billy Mitchell's tie. Holy shit, Captain America over here.
These photos do more damage than anything that has come before them, and I'm not exaggerating. Even if you disregard all of the videotape evidence, Billy's world records would still be disqualified and he would still be banned for lying just because of these photos. So how is that even possible? Let's find out. I really hope you enjoy.
Man, this would be worse than if his sex tape leaked,
Now,
I guess.
Legends, I am super excited because the second is a 1.05 million point score Billy achieved in 2007, which is known as the mortgage broker's score. This is because he supposedly achieved it at a mortgage broker's convention. The videotapes for both of these scores show footage that isn't legitimate. This is a fact, and it's why he was banned. But aside from...
Oh, let me read that one more time. It's been a while since I've seen this. It is inarguable that he was cheating, by the way. It's not allegations. It is legitimately inarguable. I can't remember. Did we go over the entire evidence package on stream at some point, or am I having a fake memory right now? Maybe we did it on the podcast. Because I do remember going through at least a good chunk of it. Quite a while back. Number 3 is just a single sentence. During the event, Billy played in a very large convention room and interacted with and performed in front of thousands of people, myself included. And? It's... Oh, this is all one person's statement. Oh, I thought this was 5 or 6 different statements from different people. I was like, what the fuck? There's nothing more there. This is one person's account. Okay. This is part of the whole thing from her statement. I was like, Jesus, come on. I don't know if I feel like going through the whole thing. But I guess a written testimonial claiming that they saw it, that's all you need. Surely there's no such thing as lying, and many of the members I worked with are still active members now. All this information is very available, very public, and quite memorable. Sheila, why are you writing that with so much attitude? You're not the one on trial for cheating or anything. That was a very aggressive sign-off.
This leaves 3 witnesses that say they directly saw him get the world record. The first is from a guy called Richard Mallion. He says he watched Billy's score reach beyond 1 million points and that he saw him achieve his targeted score. Richard is actually a childhood friend of Billy's. In fact, he appeared opposite Billy in the school yearbook. But let's not hold that against him. While it is common for friends to lie for each other, let's not assume that's what happened. He has a nice suit, and he has a nice watch.
Very
trustworthy. No one who dresses this well could lie. So I'm going to put that into the yes column. For the no column, there isn't much I found out about Richard that really concerns me, except for this super tiny detail of him pleading guilty to conspiracy, securities fraud, money laundering, and criminal contempt in 19...
Could have happened to anyone, and in fact, I'm going to tell you what happened. He was set up by Twin Galaxies. They knew there was a connection between the Duck and Billy Mitchell, the King of Kong, and they tried to attack everyone in Billy's circle. Complete misunderstanding. Very fabricated, not real.
1996, after an FBI sting
I wouldn't
operation.
hold it against him.
I mean, it's probably nothing, but it would be remiss of me if I didn't include it. Maybe this is being too judgmental, but I'm going to go ahead and add to the fact that he was charged again with fraud in 2019 by the SEC and had to pay back $750,000.
Once again, Carl, this was a setup. My man, this was Twin Galaxies trying to take out the witnesses. You know, no different than Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, where Scott had to go through all the ex-boyfriends and shit. This is Twin Galaxies going through all of the witnesses right now. You can't hold it against Richard here. He did nothing wrong.
In 2021, Richard was unfortunately arrested for conspiracy to commit fraud. Look, he has just not been lucky when it comes to fraud. He keeps getting caught. I, for one...
This picture here... Now I know it was a frame job, and I know it's all false, because they're doing my man Richard so dirty with this mugshot here. Like, it looks like he's fucking skydiving, like all the skin's being pushed towards the back of his skull here. It's like he's fucking melting. Where does the neck start and the chin end? Oh, man. Is he laying down and they took this picture? What is going on here?
Keeps getting caught. I, for one, do not hold this against him. When I look at this table, I see 3-3. It's pretty
That's
even.
tough. That's
Personally,
a toss-up.
I'm leaning towards trusting the guy, but you let me know in the comments what you think. Okay, so Billy's first witness is a bit sketch. Who's number 2? Billy's second witness that says he saw him
Oh
get
God,
it
it's
is
Todd Rogers.
Oh boy, this is not going well. Okay, hit me with number 3. Surely we're going to get a winner.
He's probably not going to touch on Todd Rogers. Todd Rogers is another notorious cheater of these old game high scores. He has a whole saga of his own. I don't even think I could do it justice trying to summarize it here. But that is so poetic that one of the other witnesses is fucking Todd Rogers. That's amazing. This is like a team of Avengers that he has for witnesses.
The third witness that says they saw Billy get the score is Kim Mahoney, who is also Todd Rogers' girlfriend. I'm going to be completely honest here.
Coincidence.
I'm getting the impression that Billy's witnesses may not be entirely trustworthy. There's Billy and Todd posing with a couple of people. There's a camera that was recording Billy play, even though that footage doesn't seem to exist for some reason.
They left the
Billy
lens
and Todd
on.
posing
Lens
again
cap.
with the thumbs up. Maybe this is just after Billy got the world record. I have to admit, everything here looks pretty legit, and oh my god, what is that?
I don't know what I'm looking at. I'm not knowledgeable enough. What is it? Is it a copyright 2023 on there?
That joystick is not an original Donkey Kong joystick. This arcade machine does not have original, unmodified Donkey Kong arcade hardware.
Oh,
this
jeepers.
is an original Donkey Kong stick. It's got a big black ball and a short column. The
Oh,
stick on
wow.
Billy's arcade is a tall stick with a smaller ball, and it's obviously red, so the stick has been changed to something else.
Easily explainable. This machine was considered so legit that they had to change out the stick. Otherwise, because people were fighting each other to compete for high scores on it because it was so fucking real. So the stick just got worn out from overusage, but the machine, that's the only thing that's been changed. That much I'm sure of. Or, you know what, that's a good point. This could have been a special edition cabinet that was sent to Billy Mitchell by Nintendo themselves. They were so happy that the King of Kong wanted to use an arcade cabinet that they made that they gave him a special red stick. You know, for the red, white, and blue, because he's such a patriot, obviously. Easily explainable.
On top of that, it appears to be an 8-way stick. Now, the original Donkey Kong stick is 4-way, which means it can only go up, down, left, and right. The game can be played. If you want to steer barrels while on a ladder, you have to stop and hold left or right, because you can't go up and to the side at the same time. But with an 8-way stick, you can continue to climb ladders while steering barrels by using the diagonals. With an 8-way stick,
That's
you can do
interesting.
things you can't do on an original arcade, which is
I'm actually just even shocked that he played the game. I thought this was going to prove that Billy Mitchell's never even touched Donkey Kong in his life. So honestly, at this point, I have a little more respect for Billy knowing that he just used a cheating device in order to have a better score, like to play better. I thought for sure it was going to come out that he just doesn't even know what Donkey Kong is. He's never touched the fucking thing in his life.
which is why they are banned. So not only is the stick not original, which was totally banned, it looks like an 8-way stick, which is extra banned. His entire lawsuit against Twin Galaxies is based on the premise that he played on unmodified original arcade hardware, which is categorically not true.
True,
Not only
very
from
wrong.
the videotapes, but now from the photos as well. And his lawsuit is full of lies where Billy claims the hardware was unmodified. Everyone just got caught out, big time. And it gets...
How did they even let this happen? Surely they would have recognized the stick, right? This man dedicated his entire life to Donkey Kong and his high score. He did one thing that isn't even that cool, getting a high score in Donkey Kong, and he let it define his entire fucking life for the last 24 years. And he wouldn't recognize that the stick isn't original? Surely he would have done everything in his power to keep these photos buried. Fucking burn the photos, for God's sakes. He would have had to know that people would be able to easily see that it's not an original stick. He didn't release it. I get he wasn't the one that released it. What I'm saying is, I'm sure he would have done everything in his power to stop it from ever coming out. Like, legitimately burn these photos. But maybe that was just beyond his control at this point. Like, who released it? Well, maybe Carl will mention it here in a moment. I'm just shocked he wouldn't go immediately to the event. He knew the photos were being taken. He was literally giving thumbs up with Todd Rogers in front of the cabinet. So he knew there were photos. And he would have known that people would have recognized that as a not legitimate, unmodified stick. So why would even A, let photos be taken, and B, not go to the event and like fucking scrub those archives?
You may be wondering why Billy would lie about something that can so obviously be disproven.
That's what I was just
and
talking about.
the answer is that Billy didn't know these photos existed. In
What?
fact, the entire Donkey Kong community didn't know these photos existed. They were only made public recently, and not by Billy Mitchell. These photos were never made public, and they were only retrieved now by directly contacting the organizers of the convention.
That blows my mind. He literally gave a thumbs up multiple times with Todd Rogers in front of that machine. Who was he giving the thumbs up for? He knew pictures were being taken. What did he think happened to the... What? Wait, what? This is a cool angle of Billy, though, I will say. His hair looks even more like a Lego block in this angle. But I still just can't believe that he wouldn't remember photos being taken because he posed multiple times for him. I'm also surprised that it took this long for someone to contact the event staff from the mortgage thing. I feel like a lot of people would have thought to do that a long time ago, but maybe just now they finally found the photos.
I cannot wait until this goes to trial, and
Wow.
you best believe that when it does, I'm going to cover it. I'm excited, and I think you should be too, because this is going to be a lot of fun. As always, thank you so much for watching, you legends. I hope you are having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video.
This is also great news for Carl. This is a big Carl W as well, because he is currently getting sued by this goofball, this goober. And as everyone knows, the #1 defense against defamation, which is what Billy Mitchell is coming after him for, is the absolute truth. And now, it seems, it has been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt, he cheated. Thus, the case against Carl is fucking kaput. It really just goes to show you, sometimes the simplest means and like the simplest explanations are the most effective. Hey, so you got this at a mortgage convention, what year? And where was it? Why don't I just give them a call? Maybe they have photos. Hey, you guys have any photos? Oh, we do, yeah, you want them? Yes, please. Bang. And now it's all over for Billy Mitchell's case. Aren't frivolous lawsuits illegal? Yeah, but it feels like a lot of people get away with doing that. He's made like an entire fucking career off of frivolous lawsuits. Has he actually won any lawsuits? My man, I don't think he's even had one of his lawsuits make it to a trial. They get thrown out so quick. But it's still expensive for the people he sues. It's still a headache. It's such an absurd thing to ruin your life over. Alright, let's not get carried away. Billy Mitchell didn't ruin his life over this. He's not gonna go to jail. He just has a legacy of being a fucking joke of a person and an insufferable asshole for all the frivolous lawsuits he tosses at people that make fun of him or point out that he's cheated. He hasn't ruined his life. The man has a fucking hot sauce deal, for God's sakes. None of which I think he earned, by the way. He has one accolade, and it's high scores at Donkey Kong, that he fucking cheated. So in fact, he got dealt a really lucky hand. He got one thing that he's never let go, and he's somehow found success from it. Might want to tone it back before he sues you. He can't anymore. He literally can't. Because the truth is now abundantly clear. Even if you set aside all of the inarguable evidence of him cheating, now these pictures that have come out confirm it even more beyond a shadow of a doubt. He legitimately can no longer sue anymore. Why do these confirm he's cheating? Oh, if you weren't here, I'll give you the quick explanation. So the whole claim is that he got the high scores on an unmodified original hardware. However, now that these pictures are out, you can see it's not. So the original hardware did not have this stick. It had a small black stick. So it had a black ball on top and the stick. Not this. So immediately that disqualifies all of his records because it is not unmodified hardware. He's lied about it. It is clearly modified. Oh yeah, and it's an 8-way stick apparently, which is another banned device because it gives you an advantage. You're able to cheat the game a bit more by being able to go in the other 4 angles here diagonally. So this stick right here just throws out everything he's ever claimed. That's just a stick cover. Well, it wouldn't matter. You know what? Let's play ball with you. Let's assume that is a stick cover and the original stick is still under there. That is A, still not allowed, and B, impossible, because here's what the original stick looks like. It's a tiny little goofy, like almost doorknob. Not that long stretched one. So it can't even just be a cover. It is a completely different stick. Chode versus grower. Yeah, I guess kinda. The OG is more chody. Not only that, I bet there is an emulator built into the arcade box. We're setting aside all of the massive amounts of evidence talking about it being on emulator, not original hardware. We're setting all that aside and just going by what we can physically see from the photos of the event, where it is clearly modified. You don't even need to touch all of the deep analysis, which also confirm that it's illegitimate. You can just look at the photos from the event and still get the correct answer that it's fake. I'm curious to see how he decides to fight this. You know he will not admit it. So, I'll make a prediction, and right now I'm on fire with my predictions. I think the way Billy Mitchell tackles this is the exact way that any fucking geriatric person would. It's all fake Photoshop, AI, fabricated. He's going to claim that these photos are fabricated, they're AI generated or AI enhanced, something like that. The photos are fake. They've done something with the knob. This was an original knob, but they've edited it all out. He's going to harp on it being photoshopped and doctored.